And not so quickly, I actually had a bit of a play around with the 817 instead of using the RTL SDR. And as you can see here, my signals reports are much better. Where I was at best getting minus 16 dB through the RTL SDR, I'm actually getting directly with the 817, I'm getting, well, there we go, minus 3 dB. That's probably the best signal report I've had. And the antenna's not, right now, not pointed directly at VK2KRR. So it's actually, I'm pretty happy with that. If I flick to the waterfall display, you'll see the signal is much heavier here. We do have this carrier still, so being that it came up on the RTL SDR and on the 817, it's external noise. It does seem to change with beam headings, so I'm not exactly sure where it is. And sometimes we get these artifacts here where it looks like it's modulated somehow. But anyway, definitely 10 dB better. It did require a little bit more mucking around, but now that I've got it proved that it works, it's only really just hooked to the microphone plug. It can't do two-way QSOs yet. It's going. So it's now running on my Shack computer, which is the Dell laptop there. It doesn't have a battery in it, so it's not a laptop anymore. It's just a Shack computer. I may hook up a keyboard and mouse to it at a later stage. It's just an Atom CPU from about 2008. It's got 2 GB of RAM. I think the actual CPU is in the N270. It's just a Dell Mini 9 if anyone knows it. But I've got it there because it's low power and it's low noise. As you can see here, there's virtually no noise. On HF, I haven't been able to find much noise either. But I haven't got a proper HF setup going. We'll see how that goes. But it seems to be low noise across all bands, which is good. So it runs fast enough to not cause any issues. Right now, you're seeing this running in VNC. This means that I can have this running here, where I am in front of my main PC, but I can still record a VNC window. Right now I'm just recording the VNC window, so you guys have a better, higher resolution. Otherwise, if I'm recording the whole screen, it's like 1600 by 1000. So it makes it a little bit hard to translate it to something that works on YouTube. As you can see here, I've got 2KRR down to minus 3 dB. I had VK1KW last night running at about minus 10. Some beam headings I actually received a signal at minus 28 dB. Now, you guys know how much that is. That's a very, very weak signal. Those who don't quite understand, it's about 700 times below the noise level. 700 below noise. This is something that you cannot hear. So this is one of the things with Whisper, is it's not a mode. Whisper's not a mode you can swing through the bands and listen for. It's there hidden underneath the noise, and unless you're using frequency locked rigs like this, you won't be able to pick it up. If you've got one of these radios that you have to manually tune and sort of guess the right frequency, or maybe it's got a frequency counter that's locked to a crystal that's not exactly accurate, then you're not going to get much. Even the 817, I've had to set off a 70 hertz offset, and it looks like it needs to be on about an 80 hertz offset, because this is coming in probably about here. It says 550. This guy's is actually on 560. So I think I might tweak that knob a little bit back to and bring it to 80. All right, so here's my Shack setup. As you can see, I've got the laptop there. I've got the 817, the D72. And it's all set up, and I've also got this little pad here which I found is easier to write on, and also when I'm doing soldering work I don't melt a hole in the plastic table. So yeah, D72 handheld, which I've used occasionally, especially when I'm going on trips. I'll whack that on APRS and just leave it go. So got my 817, I've got the 2 connector cables, which one's falling off. They're plugged straight into the back of the 817 back here, and then they run to this little box that I've got here. So in this box we have the USB to TTL serial converter, and I've also got a little 5-volt up converter. Now the 817 had a problem with taking the 3.3 volts from the serial converter, so I needed to bump the voltage up to 5 volts. This circuit's just using a BC547. I found it out on the internet. It's really simple, and it doesn't have any problems running at 38.4K board, so not a problem. Then I've got the audio coming back out to headphone plugs, which then go to these cables and come around to the audio input on the Dell. Now I chose to go with the two separate plugs on my box rather than running two cables out because I have at least one other laptop that doesn't have the standard connectors on the back. It's got one 3.5 connector that's got both stereo audio and one pin for the microphone. So I'm going to have a special cable for that, and I'll be able to use that one box with both of those, which means I can do this stuff with the 817 portable. Other than that, you can see I've got a 5 volt battery pack that I use. It's got like 10 amps at 3.7 volts or something silly like that, all in one little battery pack. Not much use for playing around with radios, but great for phone and recording stuff. I've also got a fan here to keep the laptop cool because it does not have any moving parts in it at all. Solid state drive, no fans on the CPU, which means no fans on the CPU means it does get hot. So other than that, you can see I've got an SLA over there as well. And this USB cable that I'm pointing at here, this is a USB extension cable that goes to my RTL SDR, which is closer to the antenna, which is where I want to have it. I do later on, or some stage, want to be able to run the RTL SDR up the antenna pole and put it near the top by itself, directly connected to an antenna, so there's no losses. The only losses will be in the USB cable, which I can easily boost with one of these extension cables. Alright, so there we are. That's my shack setup. So thanks for watching this video, or this series of videos. It's been fun putting it together. I originally thought I'd do it in one episode, but it ended up being 4. I'll definitely do more episodes in the future, or more stuff in the future, but at this stage there's nothing exciting coming up with radios. I missed out on doing a video for the John Moore Field Day. That would have been a good one. But maybe if any contests come up, like the RD contest or the Winter Field Days, your VHF, UHF Field Days, I might put together a video. But other than that, definitely subscribe. I will definitely bring out more videos, and leave a like if you like this, and also like the other episodes as well. If there's anything particular that you do like, make sure you hit like, and it gives me a signal to say that's what I should be doing more of. Other than that, I'll catch you guys next time.